also called the pit of pseudo-emancipation. This is a stage in Zazen where one experiences absolute serenity and is bedeviled into believing it to be self-realization. It requires an inspired effort to break out and go beyond this state. Geshe, founder of the Tiantai Buddhist sect in China. See also 8 teachings and 5 periods. Chuang-Tzu, a Chinese Taoist sage of the 4th century. B.C. who expounded the doctrines of Lao Tzu with wit and originality. Chahomaya Han. Ch. Chung Feng Ming Pen. 1263–1323. A Chinese Zen master. His oft-quoted statement on the significance of the koan appears in his Shan Fang Ye Hua. Clouds and water. In Zen monasteries are called unsui, and Zen temple decorations frequently include designs of clouds and water. Clouds move freely, forming and reforming in response to external conditions and their own nature, unhampered by obstacles. Water is yielding but all-conquering. Water extinguishes fire or, finding itself likely to be defeated, escapes as steam and reforms. Water washes away soft earth or, when confronted by rocks, seeks a way round. Water corrodes iron till it crumbles to dust. It saturates the atmosphere so that wind dies. Water gives way to obstacles with deceptive humility. For no power can prevent it following its destined course to the sea. Water conquers by yielding. It never attacks but always wins the last battle. Tao Cheng of Nanyeo, an 11th century Taoist scholar, quoted by Blefeld on p. 78 of his The Wheel of Life. These virtues of clouds and water are the virtues of the perfected Zen person, whose life is characterized by freedom, spontaneity, humility, and inner strength, plus the resilience to adapt to changing circumstances without strain or anxiety. Confucius, the celebrated Chinese sage. The backbone of Confucius' moral and religious teachings is his Analects. Consciousness. Buddhism distinguishes 8 classes of consciousness. The first 6 are the senses of sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and thought. While the intellect, interpreting the data of the senses, creates the illusion of a subject I standing apart from an object world, it is not persistently conscious of this I. Only in the 7th class of consciousness is this awareness of a discrete ego I constant. Manas also acts as conveyor of the seed essence of sensory experiences to the 8th level of consciousness, from which, in response to causes and conditions, specific seeds are reconveyed by manas to the 6 senses, precipitating new actions, which in turn produce other seeds. This process is simultaneous and endless. The diagram, based on a scheme by Harada Rashi, shows the relation of the 8 classes of consciousness to birth and death and to birthlessness and deathlessness. The triangular portion stands for the life of the individual, revealing one's link to pure consciousness, or formless self, sometimes called the 9th level of consciousness. This life is not unlike a wave on the vast ocean. Its brief existence seems apart from the ocean. And in a sense it is not the ocean. But in substance it is not other than the ocean, out of which it arose, into which it will recede, and from which it will emerge again as a new wave. In just the same way, individual consciousness issues from pure consciousness and in its essential nature is indistinguishable from it. Their common element, the viable void, is shown in the diagram by the all-pervading white background. Daishi. Literally, Great Master, this Buddhist title is usually conferred posthumously. Daidakuji. A large Rinzai temple complex in Kyoto, Japan, founded in 1327 by Daido Kokushi, that is, Daido, teacher to the nation. Daidakuji is the possessor of many art treasures, among them paintings by the Zen painter Mu Chi. Delusion, illusion. To be deluded is to be totally deceived. Delusion implies a belief in something that is contrary to reality. Illusion, on the other hand, suggests that what is seen has objective reality but is misinterpreted or seen falsely. In Buddhism, delusion is ignorance, an unawareness of the true nature of things or of the real meaning of existence. We are deluded or led astray by our senses. which include the intellect and its discriminating thoughts. Insofar as they cause us to accept the phenomenal world as the whole of reality when in fact it is but a limited and ephemeral aspect of reality. And to act as though the world is external to us when in truth it is but a reflection of ourselves. This does not mean that the relative world has no reality whatever. When the masters say all phenomena are illusory, they mean that, compared with mind itself, the world apprehended by the senses is such a partial and limited aspect of truth that it is dreamlike. See also 6 Realms of Existence. Denko Roku. By Japanese Zen master Kizun, consisting of 53 lectures on the Buddha and the Dharma ancestors, compiled by his disciples. Not to be confused with the Dento Roku, by a Chinese Zen master. Dharma. A fundamental Buddhist term having several meanings, the broadest of which is 1. Phenomenon. All phenomena are subject to the law of causation, and this fundamental truth comprises the core of the Buddha's teaching. Thus Dharma also means 2. Law, 3. Ultimate truth, 4. The Buddha's teaching, and 5. The doctrines of Buddhism. Dharma ancestors, ancestral teachers. The great masters who have received and formally transmitted the Buddha's Dharma. They number 28 in India and 6 in China. Bodhidharma was both the 28th in India and the first in China. The 6th patriarch, Hui Neng, never formally passed on the patriarchy to his successor, so it lapsed. However, the outstanding masters of succeeding generations, both Chinese and Japanese, are loosely designated ancestors by the Japanese, or elders by the Chinese, out of reverence and respect for their high attainments. Dharma dueling. A verbal joust or battle of wit as respects the Dharma, usually between 2 enlightened persons. In practice it is sometimes difficult to draw a clear distinction between Hasan and Mondo. But generally speaking, a Mondo involves only a question and an answer, while a Hasan can develop into an extended encounter. Dharma dueling is the typical Zen method of demonstrating truth without recourse to logical conceptions. See also Mondo. Dharma successor. A Zen disciple who has reached the same degree of enlightenment as his or her master and been given permission to carry on a line of teaching. It implies, of course, Inca. A Dharma successor may be a layman or laywoman. Hui Neng, the 6th Dharma ancestor, was a layman when he received the seal of transmission from the 5th Dharma ancestor. Diamond Sutra. Skt. Vajrakadika Prajnaparamita. J. Kongo Kyo. One of the most profound of the Mahayana Sutras, this sutra concludes with the words, "This sacred exposition shall be known as the Vajrakadika Prajnaparamita Sutra because it is hard and sharp like a diamond, cutting off all arbitrary conceptions and leading to the other shore of enlightenment." Dakyuzen. A private encounter with a Zen teacher. The general term for a formal appearance before the Rashi is Sanzen. There are 3 types of Sanzen. Sosen, or listening to the Rashi's general lectures on Zen practice, usually in a group. Compulsory for all beginners. Dakyuzen, or going singly before the Rashi at given periods. Optional. Nazen, or visiting the Rashi secretly at any time, day or night, when special circumstances warrant it. At Yasudani Rashi's sesshin, Dakyuzen took place 3 times daily. At 5 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. Dorin. A well-known Zen master of the Tiang period. He was popularly called Niao Kei from his habit of doing zazen among the branches of trees. See also Hakurakuten. Ego. According to Buddhism, the notion of an ego, that is, awareness of oneself as a discrete individuality, is an illusion. It arises because, misled by our bifurcating intellect into postulating the dualism of myself and not myself, we are led to think and act as though we were a separated entity confronted by a world external to us. Thus in the unconscious the idea of I, or selfhood, becomes fixed, and from this arise such thought patterns as I hate this, I love that. This is mine, that is. yours. Nourished by this fodder, the ego I comes to dominate the personality, attacking whatever threatens its position and grasping at anything which will enlarge its power. Antagonism, greed, and alienation, culminating in suffering, are the inevitable consequences of this circular process. 8 teachings and 5 periods. A classification of the Buddhist teachings from the standpoint of the 10-day sect, made by its Chinese founder, Chi. These are divided into 4 doctrines plus 4 methods of expounding them and represent 5 stages of instruction given by the Buddha, from the earliest to the last and highest. Issai Myoan. The Zen sect in Japan formally begins with Issai, a priest of high rank who had mastered the teachings of Buddhism at Mount Hiei, the foremost Buddhist center of learning, in Kyoto, in the Middle Ages. He made 2 trips to China, where he learned the practices of Zen at several monasteries, including the famous Zen monastery of Tien Tiung. Upon his return to Japan in 1191 he brought the Rinzai teachings as well as tea seeds. Thus Issai came to be known as the father of Zen and tea cultivation in Japan. In Gakuji. This well-known Zen monastery was founded in Kamakura, Japan, in 1282 by the regent Hojo Tokimune, an ardent patron of Buddhism. In Gakuji is the headquarters of many sub-temples scattered throughout Japan. Enlightenment. Self-realization. As used herein, the term has no connection with the 18th century philosophical movement characterized by rationalism. See also Kensho and Satori. Ino. More fully, Daikon Ino Zenji. Also Rokuso Daishi, the 6th Dharma ancestor. Ch. Hui Neng or Wei Lang. 638 to 713. One of the most distinguished of the Chinese masters of the Tiang era. Zen lore abounds with stories about him. That he was so poor he had to sell firewood to support his widowed mother. That he was illiterate. That he became enlightened in his youth upon hearing a passage from the Diamond Sutra. That he was selected to become the 6th Dharma ancestor through a verse he had written demonstrating his profound insight. 5 deadly sins. 1. Killing one's father, 2. Killing one's mother, 3. Killing an arhat, 4. Shedding the blood of a Buddha, 5. Destroying the harmony of the Buddhist Sangha. 5 degrees of Tozan. Like the 10 ox-herding verses, these are different levels or degrees of Zen realization formulated by Zen master Tozan Ryokai. In Japanese these 5, in ascending scale, as known as 1. Shochu Hen, 2. Henchu Sho, 3. Shochu Rai, 4. Henchu Shi, and 5. Renchu 2. The key terms are Sho and Hen, which are 2 mutually related aspects of the one. Some of their complementary attributes are as follows. In each case the Sho is followed by the Hen. Absolute, relative. Emptiness, form and color. Equality, difference. Oneness, manyness. Absolute self, relative self. The Chu, which can mean within or among, expresses the interrelation of the Sho and the Hen. 1. Sho Chu Hen. At this level of realization the world of phenomena is dominant, but it is perceived as a dimension of the Absolute Self. 2. Hen Chu Sho. At this second stage the undifferentiated aspect comes strongly to the fore and diversity recedes into the background. 3. Sho Chu Rai. The third grade is a level of realization wherein no awareness of body or mind remains. Both drop away completely. 4. Hen Chu Shi. With this degree the singularity of each object is perceived at its highest degree of uniqueness. Now a cup is a cup is a cup. 5. Ken Chu Tu. In the fifth and highest grade, form and emptiness mutually penetrate to such a degree that no longer is there consciousness of either. Ideas of satori or delusion entirely vanish. This is the stage of perfect inner freedom. 4 modes of birth. 1. Birth through the womb, 2. Birth through eggs hatched outside the body, 3. Birth through moisture, and 4. Birth through metamorphosis. 4 vows. 1. All beings, without number, I vow to liberate. 2. Endless blind passions I vow to uproot. 3. Dharma gates, beyond measure, I vow to penetrate. 4. The great way of Buddha I vow to attain. These vows are as old as Mahayana Buddhism, being allied with the vows of a Bodhisattva. In the Zen temple they are recited 3 times in succession after the close of Zazen. In the sutra bearing his name, the 6th Dharma ancestor, Hui Neng, gives these vows a profound interpretation. Gosho. The gesture of raising the hands palm to indicate respect, gratitude, or humility, or all 3. Genki Taji Rashi. A Rashi disciple of Harada Rashi. He died in 1953 at the age of 64. Godo. In the Soto sect, the head monk in charge of the Zendo, next in rank to the Rashi. The position of Jikijutsu in the Rinzai sect approximates that of the Godo. Heikuin Ikaku. One of the most versatile and brilliant of the Japanese Zen masters. Heikuin is often called the father of modern Rinzai by reason of the fact that he single-handedly revitalized the Rinzai teachings, which had been steadily declining, through this systematization of the koans. Not only was Heikuin an outstanding master, he was a highly accomplished painter, calligrapher, and sculptor. Sekishu, or what is the sound of one hand, which he devised, is the best known koan by a Japanese master. His popular Zazen Wazen, frequently recited in Zen temples, begins. From the beginning all beings are Buddha and ends. This earth where we stand is the pure lotus land, and this very body the body of Buddha. Hakurakuten. To quote from Suzuki's 3rd series of essays in Zen Buddhism. Pai Yuehtien was a great poet of the Tiang dynasty. When he was officiating as governor in a certain district, there was a Zen master within his jurisdiction popularly known as Niao Kei, the bird's nest, for he used to practice his meditation on a seat made of the thickly growing branches of a tree. The governor poet once visited him and said, "What a dangerous seat you have up in the tree." "Yours is far worse than mine," retorted the master. "I am the governor of this district and I don't see what danger there is in it." "Then you don't know yourself. When your passions burn and your mind is unsteady, what is more dangerous than that?" The governor then asked, "What is the teaching of Buddhism?" The master recited this famous stanza, appearing in a number of Mahayana and Hinayana sutras. "Not to commit evils, but to practice all good, and to keep the heart pure. This is the teaching of the Buddhas." Pai, however, protested. "Any child 3 years old knows that. Any child 3 years old may know it, but even an old man of 80 years finds it difficult to practice." So concluded the Zen master up in the tree. Hanka. The half-lotus posture. See also section 9. Hikigen Roku. Probably the most famous Zen book, consisting of 100 koans compiled by Zen master Shuai Tou Cheng Xian, with his own commentary in verse accompanying each koan. Every koan is preceded by an introduction containing the gist of the koan, by Zen master Yuan Wu. The book derived its name from a scroll containing the Chinese characters for blue and rock which happened to be hanging in the temple where the collection was compiled, and which the compiler decided to use a title for his work. Hokoji. Literally, the lay disciple Ho. A Tiang dynasty great Zen figure and man of means who, it is recorded, dumped his entire fortune of gold into a river and thereafter wandered about the country with his family, earning his living as a maker of bamboo ware and engaging in dharma dueling with famous Zen masters. Ha Swinji. A Soto sect monastery located in Obama, Fukui Prefecture, Japan, of which Harada Rashi was chief abbot for over 40 years. Hachugamen. A vow or a petition. Dogen's Hachugamen, comprised of selections from his Shobogenzo, is chanted regularly in Zen monasteries. Hyakujo Ikai. An outstanding Zen master, the first to establish a Zen monastic community in China with precise rules and regulations and the emphasis of manual labor. Ikkyu Sojun, a former abbot of Daidakuji, the large Rinzai monastery in Kyoto, Ikkyu is known in Zen history as much for his profound irreverent wit, expressed in numerous verses, as for his deep Zen insight. Both of these qualities can be seen in this poem, written by him at the age of 87 as death approached. Dimly, for 30 years. Faintly for 30 years. Dimly and faintly for 60 years. At my death I pass my feces and offer them to Brahma. Inka Shomei. Inka, as it is popularly called, is formal acknowledgement on the part of the master that a disciple has fully completed the training under him. In other words, graduated. With masters who use the koan system, it implies that the disciple has passed all the koans prescribed by that master. The bestowal of Inka by masters who do not use koans signifies their satisfaction with their disciples' level of understanding. One who receives Inka may or may not be given permission by one's master to begin teaching. For much depends on the depth of the student's enlightenment, the strength of a person's character, and the maturity of his or her personality. Obviously, much also depends on the personal qualities of the Rashi himself. If he is wise and accomplished, with high standards, his permission to teach will not be lightly given. But if he is mediocre, very likely his disciple, Inka, or no, will be a poor stamp of a poor stamp. In Zen it is often said, the fruit can be no better than the tree that produced it. Iron wall and silver mountain. Metaphors to describe the sense of frustration of those who reach a certain point in their practice beyond which they cannot penetrate. One is unable to smash one's way through an iron wall or gain a foothold on a silver mountain. Jewel sword of the Vajra king. A metaphorical expression for indestructible mind. See also Vajra. Jizo. This Bodhisattva of benevolence and mercy is a beloved figure in Japanese Buddhism. On a popular level, Jizo is not only the special protector of children but also the mentor and guide of any who are in danger of going astray. Stone statues of Jizo, with his monk's staff in one hand and his shaven head, can be seen at crossroads or intersections or at a spot where a child has suffered an unnatural death. Jia Shujushan. Ch. Chaozhou Tizung Shen. 778–897. A renowned master of the Tiang period. His Mu is the best known of all koans. Chaozhou is said to have attained Kensho at the age of 18 and complete awakening at 54. From 54 to 80 he made pilgrimages about China, staying with prominent masters and engaging in Dharma dueling with them. Not until he was 80 did he formally open a monastery and begin to teach. He then continued to instruct students until his death, at 120. Like his master, Nan Chuan, Chaozhou was mild-mannered. He eschewed the vigorous speech and violent actions of a rinzai. Yet his wisdom and acumen in dealing with students was such that he could convey more with gentle sarcasm or a tilt of the eyebrow than other masters could with a shout or a crack of the stick. This is clear from the numerous koans which revolve around him. Chaozhou is highly admired in Japan. Kalpa. One of the sutras defines a kalpa as the period of time it would take a heavenly being descending from heaven once a year and making one sweep of its wings across the top of a mile-high mountain to wear it down level with the ground. Kamakura era. The troubled period in Japanese history that saw the seat of government move to Kamakura and the rise of the Zen, Nichiren, and Pure Land sects. Kannon. J. Also Kwannon, Kanzeon. Skt. Avalokitesvara. Ch. Kuan Yin. The Great Compassionate One, Kannon is the Bodhisattva of all-embracing love and benevolence, and plays a central role in the devotional practices of all Buddhist sects. Although originally male, Kannon has become a feminine figure in the popular imagination in Asia. Karma. One of the fundamental doctrines of Buddhism, karma is action and reaction, the continuing process of cause and effect. Thus our present life and circumstances are the products of our past thoughts and actions, and in the same way our deeds in this life will fashion our future mode of existence. The word karma is also used in the sense of evil bent of mind resulting from past wrongful actions. See also birth and death, consciousness, and 6 realms of existence. Katsu or Quats. Though this exclamation has no exact meaning, it conveys a great deal. It is used by the masters to sweep from the mind of the student all dualistic, ego-centered thoughts. The expression is most often associated with Lin Chi, whose shouting and stick-wielding are legendary in Zen. Lin Chi distinguished 4 kinds of Katsu. Sometimes it is like the jewel sword of the Vajra.